He's got multiple.
Go ahead.
I was going to say multiple players came in here saying that you guys had great energy to practice and that they turned the page, move forward. Did you see that energy that you were hoping for?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've said before, the guys prepare really well. Preparation isn't the issue. They came out and did it again. Really good leadership to get it there, I thought, today, and really good energy. So these guys are resilient.
Understanding there's 3 games left, how close do you think you are to getting the most out of this?
We're getting the most out of a lot of guys. You know, when you turn the tape on and watch Luke Reimer get 19 tackles and JoJo Doman play as tough as he did, and Cam Jurgens play really well, and, you know, I can go down the list. We're getting a lot out of a lot of guys. You know, there's a couple details, a couple spots I think we can continue to improve. Those things are obvious when you put on the tape too, the things that need to get better. Saturday it was turnovers, obviously. We're getting better, Sip. Despite, you know, as frustrated as I am, I want this so bad for Nebraska fans. You know, our receivers are young and they're starting to play really well. When you watch the tape of Omar and Samari and Xavier and some of those guys, we're separating, we're getting open. There's a lot of position groups that are continuing to improve, and obviously things we need to work on, but a lot of guys getting better too.
You talked about wanting to get more grit or seeing more grit. In your shoes, what can you do about that? How can you help that?
I don't know how tough I was when I came back to Nebraska in 1995. It was a locker room culture that you had to be. And I think you get tougher when you're doing tough things every day. And it doesn't happen overnight. You're usually a lot better chance of being tough and gritty when you're 22 than when you're 18. And that just takes time. And we got a lot of guys that are near the top of where we want them to be, and a lot of guys still climbing that hill. But as a team, it's definitely a lot better than it has been in the past.
What's your take on the turnovers, on the interceptions with Adrian, and why that kind of reared its head again? He's avoided that most of the year.
Yeah, I know. You're going into the game, he had three interceptions, and one was on a 4th down at Oklahoma where he just tried to take a chance. The first one, you just got to see the guy. We're really throwing a in and out route off that Sam linebacker, and the Sam kind of played him, and he didn't play that guy. And that was a key play. The holding on the play before, and we had 1st and 10 at 34. I think they're 34. Instead, it was 2nd and 15, and we threw a pick 6. That's catastrophic. He had one that wasn't his fault and got knocked out of Austin's arms. Just plain and simple, sailed one. Probably came out of his hand wrong, and he threw it too high. And I take a little bit of blame for the other one. I got after him pretty good on the sideline. I thought he could have got a 1st down on a 3rd down when he scrambled out of the pocket, and we went out of bounds a yard short, and I got after him pretty good. And maybe that led him to press him a little too much on the next drive and trying to make something happen. I look up at the screen before the game and see him 2nd in the league in offense. He's doing so many good things. Really want him to have the experience where he comes through, wins us a big game, and kind of gets redemption at the end of the ups and downs that he's been through. Waiting on that for happen for the whole team and for Adrian too.
So some of the guys said that they liked or got something out of having the captains talk after the game. I guess as you go through a season, does it ebb and flow how much the leadership needs to come from you compared to a team, and how do you sort of feel that out as a season?
I don't think it ebbs and flows what my leadership needs to be. My leadership needs to be steadfast and consistent. And unfortunately, when you lost a bunch of close games, you feel yourself kind of saying the same thing over and over to the guys. Can't make those mistakes. Got to make the play when it matters. We did a ton of good things in that game, and Purdue had 5 turnovers against Wisconsin and lost, and we had 4 turnovers against Purdue and lost. That's how football works. So I can go in the locker room and say the same thing, and I addressed the guys, said what I thought was important. and I turned it over to the captains. And I think in that moment, that was probably a little more powerful because of where we are. And that's probably the impetus for the motivation that needs to happen here at the end of the season is the guys deciding, hell yeah, we're going to buckle down and get some of these games done at the end of the year. And that's the team I saw at practice today.
I know Ohio State's really, really good, but is there an advantage that they think your team's complete attention because they're really, really good?
Yeah, I suppose that's a good way to look at it. You know, we get people's best shots. We try to give people our best shots. I think this is a really talented team that is hitting its stride. You know, other than last week, they haven't really had a close game for a long time. So, but our guys are excited. They love these games. I think we probably played our best football against the best teams that we've played this year, and this team's probably the best or close to that we've played all year. I'm sure the rest of the season will reveal all that, but they're going to come in ready, and our guys are excited to play.
How much within the season can you self-critique yourself as a staff, or is that challenging within the season? How have you seen the staff stay together?
No, that happens after every practice, after every game. We watch film of everything we do. There's always 2 or 3 calls every game, whether you win or lose, that you wish you had back. This play didn't work. That play did. The way we approach practice, drills we're doing during practice, all those things change based on what the team needs. And we had a long time to look at that during the bye week. Thought we did a lot of really good things in the bye week that led to better play in certain areas that honestly was enough to win without the turnovers. And we'll keep doing that as long as we're coaching.
Your teams here probably had an edge on opponents before the game even started, just mentally, because of their reputation. Do you see that with Ohio State at all, and how opponents approach them and just the obstacles that they have to overcome the moment they walk on the field against that team?
The biggest obstacle you have to overcome against them is that future NFL guys and good coaches. And so, you're going to have to execute really well and take advantage of the opportunities you get. They've been putting up a lot of points. So you got to do a good job on defense, and you got to score when you get a chance to on offense. I wouldn't say psychological is the biggest issue. It's how talented the team they have.
Has that talent gap shrunk in your time here, would you say? Or how is that compared to?
We'll find out on Saturday. It's a different team every year with them. It's a different team every year with us. There's no question we're infinitely more talented than we were year 1 and year 2 here. I haven't seen them other than on tape yet, but I know they're always going to have a ton of talent and really good players. So we have to see how we match up.
What about your offensive line, though? Your one offensive line, was it ahead of where this one is?
Probably just because of experience, Sam, if I'm being honest. Gerald and Foster and Farmer and we had a lot of guys year 1 that had played a lot of Big Ten football. I think we have really talented guys right now. They're young. Turner's young, Bryce is young, Cam's still young at the position. Nuri's young. Those guys have continued to get better. We're actually yards per rush and in some statistics doing a really good job up there. Seems to show up with a penalty now and again that honestly happens when you have young experienced guys, and we got to be better in protection. And those guys will continue to develop. But that year 1 line was at least very veteran and did a good job fighting for us.
Behind us, we're here in these comments. Is this a different record, different team, different story? If that one player is here?
When you have this many close games, I think it's really easy to say if we had a few more pieces here and there, it could all be different. We scratch our heads and try to address the thing that when we're this close that gets us beat in this game or that game. At the end of the day, you have a little more talent. Some of those games aren't close, and guys make plays when you need them to. So, I'm excited about trying to find those pieces and plug them in with the young guys that we got, and have a lot of confidence in the young talent that we have on the team.
Numbers say Ohio State's defense has improved since they changed defensive playmaker. When you watch the tape, what about the defense is different since they did that?
Not a lot of scheme difference, kind of how they're calling it, how often they run certain things and other things. they've been a little bit different in every game. And they're playing some young guys on defense too, a linebacker and a corner especially that are and a defensive end, all developing into really good players with experience.
Scott, how much do you let the outside speculation about your job and your staff's affect you? How much does that weigh on you?
I don't pay any attention to it. It's kind of hard to ignore all, talk in any situation. There's an article written about me 6 games into my first year. And we came off undefeated and lost our first 6 here, and they were already writing stuff. You learn as a coach not to pay any attention to that. I owe it to the kids to give them my everything. So do the coaches, and we are. And the kids are giving us everything they got right back because of our relationship with those guys. And everything else doesn't matter. We can only control what we can control.
Smothers has played in 4 games so far. Is there a plan to redshirt him, or where are those conversations?
No, he's number 2 right now. So if we need him, he's got to be ready to go. And he's been doing a good job getting better every week.
What does that picture look like? We don't see practice. So what does that Smothers? How has he evolved?
Smothers can really run, really understands the offense, makes good decisions. He's throwing better and better every day we're out there. I think he just lacks a little bit of experience right now, but he's done a great job when he's gone in. So I'm excited about him. If he gets an opportunity, I'd expect him to be ready.
But just one other follow-up on what I asked. You're in year 4. How much time do you think it takes for you to get it where you want it to be?
We're close. I don't want to overstep here, but yeah, I'm really excited about the rest of this year. I'm really excited about next year. I hope we get it. I think we should. And like I said, with the young guys we got coming back and an opportunity to go out and get a few more pieces to add to that, I think this thing could be really good. I really thought this year it would pop, and we've been so close. When you're so close and you don't get it done, that unfortunately you have a mindset when we got here that we've been beat a lot, and winning's a habit, losing's a habit. Trying to break that cycle just takes a few wins in a row and some momentum and a little more belief. The kids believe, but you really believe when it happens. And we've been so close. I just want to see it happen for these guys.
Scott, Trev wasn't at the game on Saturday. Have you talked to him since, and kind of where are you guys at as far as where the season's at?
Yeah, Trev was at his son's wedding, so that's more important than a football game. And Trev and I talked on Sunday.
Along the lines of sort of believing you didn't beat Oklahoma or Michigan State, but the way that your defense played overall against Oklahoma and what they did against Kenneth Walker, I mean, are there tangible things that you can take from performances like that on that side of the ball to help confidence-wise going against an offense like Ohio State?
Yeah, now Ohio State's a little different animal than Michigan State, but our defense has played well against some really good teams. Oklahoma's got a good offense. Michigan State, the defense has kept us in it, and at times been dominant. I'd like to see that be a little more dominant. That's I think the little bit the defense can get better at. And honestly, again, we're doing it with a lot of young guys, young linebackers and outside linebackers, and secondary is kind of the only place we're a veteran. But I've been really pleased with Coach Chins and his group, and how tough they're playing and the progress they've made.
If you mean wins or no?
It to happen, wins.
I hope we get it. I think we should.
No, we got to get the wins. The wins take care of everything, and despite all the improvement that I've seen, that hasn't improved. And we've had a tough schedule and played some really good teams. Got to get them done, and we've been so close. Got to get them done, and that's the nature of the business. I understand that. The kids understand that, and we'll keep fighting every day to make it happen.
You're in a unique position of having played 2 teams that could be in the top, 5 or 6 in the college football playoff on Tuesday. Which would you rank higher between Michigan State and Oklahoma?
Yeah, I'm not getting into that. Good try. They're both really good teams. So is Michigan. So is Michigan State. Minnesota's 6-2. Purdue's got a good record, and we played some really good teams, and I'm happy with how we fought and how tough we've played. got to stop making mistakes that get us beat and make a play when it matters.
I'm trying to get inside your conversations, but do you sense Trev, when you talk to him, sees some of those same things developing that you see with this football team? And does it help that he's a guy who played here and been on the field, he's been through it all?
Those are questions for Trev. You watch the games. I watch everything. There's no doubt we're better. Just haven't got it over the hump yet, and we'll keep working to get that done.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, guys.